Esper control mirror at like 35.
Okay. These matches tend to take a little bit longer if people can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I think Erik does a good job of figuring out what's going on. I've never seen Eddie play Esper control.
Right.
We played at F&M. He was playing a different deck. I think he was on like Bant mid-range or maybe Bant Vandafar. I'm not sure. He just got run over. He got feathered.
I'm into his mana base.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
This island drips.
I don't know that island drips necessarily.
Okay, this island does not drip. No, that island pings. That island lights you up. Here's Thought Erasure.
Yeah.
It's gonna end up getting Eddie's Thought Erasure probably. Depending on how good. Yep.
Yeah.
Depending on how good the hand already is.
So there's a lot of cards in Eddie's hand that aren't relevant.
Yeah, Mortify.
Mortify can be relevant. It's the only removal spell other than Vraska's Contempt that is particularly relevant.
So this.
But he's got a Teferi.
Cry the Carnarium is probably irrelevant.
Yeah, Cry the Carnarium's irrelevant. Teferi doesn't do anything for a while. Mortify, you can control how relevant it is. He just top-decked another Thought Erasure.
There it is. Alright. So he looks at 2 Teferis.
Oh, wow. This is a tough Thought
Chemist's
Erasure.
Insight and Kai's Wrath.
Yeah. Kai's Wrath does literal nothing.
Literally doesn't do anything.
Now we have Chemist's Insight mana up. Eddie with the Absorb.
Not a second blue to help him cast it.
Yeah, he is...
He's going to get Thought Erasured here, and I think this might be the turn we see Eddie lose this game.
Drew the Search for Azcanta as well. So we know he's got the Mortify, but we're going to run out of the Thought Erasure anyway to try and get him to spend mana. I don't like that. I would have preferred to like try to get him to spend mana on an operative turn.
Right.
And then resolve something else. He has a Thought Erasure in hand, right?
I believe so. He drew one off the Insight, yes. Here's the second blue for Eddie. So now Absorb is online. And Erik's going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped.
Yeah, Erik correctly identifies that he doesn't have to like rush into a Teferi.
Here's a second Thought Erasure for Eddie. The third one he's seen all game.
Oh, wow.
But now he just has to play against this Mortify, which doesn't really do a ton.
Yeah, it's 2 Mortifies and a Kaya's Wrath.
Yeah.
Kaya's Wrath down. Drew into the Absorb a turn late. But we're going to have to keep mana up because we know Eddie's got its Teferi in hand.
Yep. This is information that we know.
I don't think Eddie can go for it.
All right.
Another search.
Search for Azcanta being met by...
Yeah, this should get absorbed.
And
oh, wow.
If he gets... Oh, he doesn't. If he gets absorbed back, though, that's kind of good for him, right?
Yeah, that's great. That's when you want to pick a fight over because then you can jam your Teferi.
Right.
But now...
And keep up the same amount of card advantage.
Yeah, if Erik A gets to use this to dig for a couple turns and B flips it, it's going to be a huge deal. Leaving it on top. I think it's a Chemist's Insight. No, that's a Liliana the Dread Horde commander.
Yep.
Which, not amazing. I would probably bend it, in all honesty.
So here's Erik bidding a land, drawing a land. Eddie with his 8th land. Looks like he's caught up a little bit. I think he's going to have to figure it out here. Here he's leaving up Absorb so he can get absorbed back for sure. All right, there it is.
The absorb Teferi resolves. This is a big deal.
He's going to draw a card. He gets to untap 2 lands. He's already played his land this turn.
So Eric's going to have to look out for the Dovin's Veto. Doesn't look like it's in Eddie's hand.
I can represent it. Here's the flip Descanta.
Looks like the draw was a Vraska's Contempt, which I think we just need to fire off right now.
All right. Yeah, I think you just have to, you got to play the hand you're dealt here almost. And if he's got it, he's got it. If not, you're back in the game at least. You might even be ahead of the game a little bit, like your Escanta versus his not Teferi if he doesn't have it.
Don't run out the Lily.
Oh, we're going to, oh, interesting.
It just doesn't seem like it does much here. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but like a 2/2 zombie a turn in the face of this Teferi, you can't let him untap with that Teferi.
No?
That's just such card advantage. There we go. Figured it out. You're running it into a Dovin's Veto. Yeah, that sucks. But sometimes you just got to take that chance.
Yeah, it works out for him here. And so now he's going to resolve Dreadhorde Butcher.
I just want to lean on this Searcher's Candidate. I don't think Dreadhorde Butcher does anything except turn on his removal.
Dreadhorde Commander, I'm sorry.
Yeah, same thing. That's why I'm surprised that he even kept it on top. It just doesn't feel like it does much.
2, 3, 4? Is he, oh, he's got Thought Erasure or
I think a
Vraska's Contempt. Yeah. I thought he was playing with us, thinking about it.
Yeah, Vraska's Contempt, like the background is very beige. It looks very land-like.
Yeah.
So, lead with a Thought Erasure here. So anxious to get this Liliana out on the board. Why don't you at least see what's going on first?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So
Making
what's
no bones
tapped here?
about it. So we've got 3 different states of tappedness. So now he's like, all right, well, I definitely don't want to cast this Liliana now. It's just going to go right into this Vraska's Contempt. And we just pass and, like, sit on our search for Escanta.
See, I wouldn't have.
Oh, we're running it. We are running it.
Yeah, he's going to absorb the Vraska's Contempt.
Does he have an absorb?
I believe so.
I don't think he does. I think he's got Kaya's Wrath and Mortify.
Yeah, all right. I guess that's where we are.
We have the zombie.
Zombie.
So, I mean, in a way, it's a 2-for-1 because he has to now use a removal spell on this zombie. Oh, there's your boy.
There's my boy
There's
Dovin.
your boy. But, like, the cards that he's using on the zombie aren't relevant.
Oh, yeah, it's irrelevant to whatever.
There he is. So the static ability on Dovin could play a part in here. It's much better if it comes down to, like, 3.
Yeah. But Dovin's static is that everything costs 1 more?
Instants, sorceries cost 1 more. Might be artifacts, too. I'm not sure. Chemister's Insight.
Artifact, instants, and sorcery spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more.
Right.
I love how we don't even put loyalty counters on Dovin. It's just he is what he is. Here's this enchantment that can't really be. Cost you 5. That could matter because it's got flashback.
No, we're just... We'll cast both sides for 8. All right, well, I can't stop him.
All right, well, there we go.
No respect for Dovin.
4. So absorb or chemistry's inside. I would take the chemistry's. Oh, Teferi,
Yeah, I would take the Teferi.
the hero of Dominaria.
That one does not cost one more,
No, it's
but
not
I
an
would
artifact,
still
instant,
wait.
or sorcery.
So you want to have Teferi plus Absorb. I don't think you have it now if he suddenly remembers the Dovin tax. Or maybe he does.
Yep. All right, here he comes untapping 2 land, neither of
Oh,
which
there we
was
go. We
his
had 4
Canta.
anyway.
Here's my final thought erasure. Let me think about this.
You just gotta let it resolve. This costs 4.
Should cost you 1 more here, but didn't. What's it like? Must be very nice.
Just get to blatantly ignore Dovins left and right.
All right. This fairy draw me a card. I'm going to activate his Canta here probably. Two, three, 4. Take the veto.
Yeah, the Absorb is, I don't know, not as good as the Veto. I don't know of any creatures that he's going to try to resolve here, but...
Yeah, I mean,
Well, let's search for Escanta. There's a good reason to keep Absorb. I think he's got a Mortify, though, which is...
here's Mortify.
Oh, we're making you pay 1 more on that Mortify. All the other cards are fine, but that Mortify...
That draw 4 for 8 mana.
Yeah.
No big deal. Should have cost you 10. That's okay. Magic's a hard game.
Yeah, there's a lot to remember.
I think there was an article.
All right, scooping it up.
There was an article where like a computer did some mathematical analysis on the situation,
Yeah.
and Magic is officially the most complex game there is.
Yes.
So, that's kind of cool.
I don't think it like tested all the different games. So I think it's the most complex game that it could test. Like
Okay.
I think there are more complex games out there. Like whatever game these women be running. Am I right? Yeah? Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Oh man.
I don't even know where that came from or where it's going.
It's going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere.
I was trying to think of complex games. I'm like, there you go.
I once read about a board game that a guy came up with that,
So you don't want your board games to be complex. Sorry, go on.
no, this board game came with a rule book that was like as thick as a textbook
What?
because it had like phases of the game. Like you weren't playing the same game the whole time. Like you would play this mini game and then that game would determine what, like everybody's position in the next game. And so you had to like churn through all this. It was like a historical game that was like representing a certain point in World War I history or some such nonsense.
Historically bad, maybe.
So it's like known as being a horrible game that was just like hard for no apparent reason, like just very
Yeah.
difficult to manage.
That's what it sounds like.
Have you ever played? Why can't I think of the name of the game? There's a copy of it in my parents' basement. I played it one time. It's a war game. And it takes forever to play. I'm going to get back to you on this topic.
Are you talking about just like Risk?
No.
Politico.
Uh, I'm just gonna look on Board Game Geek. It's got to be in their top 10. It's the kind of game where there's like tournaments for it.
Is it Magic the Gathering?
No,
Axis and Allies?
no,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
no.
Artifact? Trivial Pursuit? Anybody in the chat has a guess as to what this could be, please help us out here. Floundering.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. I'll figure it out.
Is it Stratego?
It's called Diplomacy.
Oh, okay.
You ever played that game?
Yeah.
That game is a hard game.
It's only as hard as you make it.
Yeah, I'll bet you're very good at it.
Depends on the crowd I play with.
Sure. So in this game, there is no dice rolling. You secretly write down your moves, and then like your moves interact with each other's moves, and so you have to like come to agreements with people. Like, hey, I'm moving here, so if you move here, it's good for both of us. But then they can be like, oh, well, I'll just move this way, and it'll be good for only me.
Right.
So it's a very lots of ins and outs in diplomacy.
Yeah, lots of backstabbing.
Yes.
That's that and Monopoly are the friendship breakers.
Sure.
I felt so bad. I went on like this rant about Monopoly one time
Yeah.
with my family,
It's not a good game.
and my brother bought me like a version of Monopoly for Christmas. He just like hadn't given it to me yet.
Oh, jeez. Which one?
It was the Legend of Zelda one, which was sweet.
No, Kyle bought it for you, though?
Oh no, Brad.
Oh, I don't care then. Brad
No.
can handle it.
You know, Brad.
Kyle's a little more
I'm sure
sensitive.
Brad thought it was fucking hilarious. He lost it. He's like, yeah, here's this game I got you.
Legend of Zelda Monopoly.
It was sweet. I still have it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we should break it out. We should play that instead of Commander one night.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. First of all. Second of all, lot of cool pieces in that,
Uh-huh.
and it's currently sealed. I think I'm
Oh.
gonna keep it that way
Okay, sure.
forever.
Until he dies.
But yeah, that was a really awkward moment in time. I'm full of them. That's one of the ones that keeps me up at night. Not
Yeah,
really.
sure. All right.
All right, so
Looks like Eddie's taken 6. Eric's going to keep his.
my 30-minute.
Estimate doesn't look like it's coming to fruition.
No, it did not account for 6 minutes of
Pile shuffling?
pile shuffling. And we're here now. I think Eric kept like a 5-lander.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Do you think there is Thief of Sanities in any of these
Absolutely.
decks? There's 4 lands. Kept the 5-lander. You got to take the Thought Erasure.
You gotta take the search. Oh, you got the mortifying hand. Never mind.
Yeah, so he searches, you mortify.
Drew the Teferi. That's a big draw.
Yep.
Search. Do you even?
I love this.
Oh, we're
Oh.
duressing.
Interesting.
Getting that Teferi.
Muy interesante.
Taking the 2.
Just repping that Dovin's veto.
Yeah. giving him an activation of this search res can't is a big deal.
Yeah, he definitely got like a card out of it. Because the land went into the bin, right?
Yeah.
So that's plus a card. In my mind. Alright. Oh man, another activation. Holy smokes. So does he think he has to have the Dovin's backup for his veto? Or for his mortify? Apparently not. Nope.
No,
Alright.
I think he just wanted to run it off at end of turn because
He could resolve
sometimes
something
as
now.
like a control player, you feel like that's what you have to do, even though that's not necessarily the best thing to do.
Yeah. So here I would have paid the life. I would have cast Teferi because Veto can counter the known Vraska's Contempt, right?
Yep. Uh-oh, running out another search for Escanta. So he doesn't know if he has a... Like, if he could have drawn an Absorb, something like that.
Here's Enter the God Eternals. Is that what that card is?
Yeah.
Does it have to have a target? I think it has to have a target.
Yeah, card's not good here.
Nope.
I see a lot of people milling their opponent with that, and it's a little suspect. Pretty sure you can mill yourself.
Deals 4 damage to target creature. Yeah, you gotta have a target for it.
Oh, did he draw a Thought Erasure? Oh, no. That's
Yeah,
gotta
this
tell you
Teferi
something.
should have been down a long time ago. So he has 2 cards. You know one of them is the Contempt.
Right.
And so now you've burned this Dovin's Veto on this Thought Erasure.
Do we have 2 black mana represented right now? I think we have 3 Hallowed Fountains and a Godless Shrine.
I see the Godless Shrine, and then the closest to us is the Godless Shrine under a...
Right, but he had to tap that for the... We let him... This is... This is getting rough.
This got out of hand.
And now we've got a flipped as Canta.
Yeah, this is another...
Oh, that Narset is going to end this game.
Let's bring up Narset. That's a card that got into...
This card is such a good one. Sneaks right in under the radar.
Narset part of it, each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. And then you can pay 2 of its 5 loyalty to reveal the top... Look at the top 4 cards and get a non-creature, non-land from among them.
Yeah, it's basically an extra search for Escanta
Yes.
activation.
And it turns off their Teferi, their search for Escanta. Or I guess you can still search with it in play.
You can still search with it. Chemist's Insight is out. Teferi's out. Although Teferi you can just like play and tuck. Yeah, this is
Ooh,
way out
does
of
he
hand.
have... Is this a Dreadhorde Invasion?
I believe so.
Okay. This excites me. I like this card.
I was thinking about whether he wants to counter this. I wouldn't, but he still has Mortifies in his deck,
Uh-huh.
and this creature is totally irrelevant because you're playing Teferis.
Mm-hmm. There's Absorb. I think he's going to get absorbed back.
That's fine. You can now like search for like a Teferi and resolve it here.
All right.
Sadly, Erik had to bottom Baby Teferi to play. Oh, he doesn't search for it to find the Narset. I would not have minus the Narset here.
Yeah, it doesn't...
For the
have,
record.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough...
But that's fine. You can now play your Teferi, untap. This might be greedy.
Well, that's okay.
Okay. Not so greedy anymore. Get some redundancy.
Sure.
Now we untap. Yeah, so like I can understand doing that if you would still have Search for Azcanta mana up afterwards, but we don't.
I'm gonna amass the one.
Here's the army of one. All right, so Eddie, who has been a little bit mana starved here, has to decide whether he wants to try to resolve this to Fairy or Vraska's Contempt, knowing full well that both are going to get countered.
Yeah.
He could enter the God Eternals on his own zombie army if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. So like, if he enters God Eternals on his zombie army, then he amasses it to. No, that doesn't have haste.
It doesn't even remotely have haste.
All right. Well,
But you know what? We ignored Dovin.
we'll ignore.
All
That-
the rest of the rules of Magic.
Yeah. What's a rule? Just a light suggestion,
More of a guideline.
a tip, if you will.
Man, he has so many fairies in hand. There's the Thief of Sanity. There's another Thief of Sanity.
Can't get those.
Can't get either of those.
Everything to the bottom. All right.
Here's the Duress.
See, now you got a Vraska's Contempt in response.
Dovin's Veto.
Get that vetoed. That's fine. So we got Teferi, enter
Fairy
the
down.
God Eternals.
So this is basically giving up here to Fairy here, right? Well, I guess you still have an Absorb in hand.
Sure.
We're going to Duress him back.
Yeah, that's not going to matter.
Old set for tat.
I'll take Absorb. Yeah,
He's
just
going to ride this zombie to victory. He's not.
This just in. He's not.
Get this Narset.
There we
Cast
go.
down on the bottom as well. Might have wanted to keep that, but Narset's fine. He should still have a Narset alive, but
Yeah. What is love?
well, we know he has an Enter the God Eternals in hand, so we could thought erasure that out if we think that that matters.
Yep. I don't think it does. This just in. Don't think Thought Erasure matters here. I wish he had, like, Relentless Assault so we could end this game.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This game is over.
Yeah, absolutely.
The zombie army could one day get big.
One day.
Today won't be that day.
Nope.
So there's a Mortify in there.
Yep.
I would probably take that.
Sure.
Oh, that's not a Mortify. That's a Thief of Sanity.
Nope,
that
that's
is
a Mortify.
Get it down. So now the zombie army will no longer grow.
Make
you
sure.
Top deck the Teferi. That's a big deal.
Okay.
That's a
So
start.
Teferi, tuck your Teferi, right?
You can't plus it and draw a card. So we're going to tuck the Narset. to a Teferi.
Okay.
Drew the Thief of Sandy. That's a big deal.
Yeah, the Thief of Sandy's going to help mop it up, I think. As if...
Alright, so we'll get the removal spell.
Yep.
Do we have a Vraska's Contempt in hand for this Teferi? Oh, we're just going to sacrifice. The old Teferi sacrifice.
Yeah, the old Teferi, Tucker Teferi, no big deal.
Still got 2 more.
Got all these Teferis.
And an Absorb. So yeah, now we can just run out the Thief of Sanity and a Teferi if we want.
So this is where I'm... You know, Eddie's playing a control deck too, so I'm not, like, mad at him for it, but this is where I get frustrated playing against control decks. He's going to play, like, the most careful Magic he possibly can.
Eddie?
Erik.
Oh, sure.
And I'm just like, come on, dude, you've got the game won. Let's not joke each other here.
Yeah, if he ran this backup Teferi into a Dovin's Veto or something, that could be very bad.
Sure.
But you knew Eddie was hell-bent.
Yep.
Oh, man, he played the land out. Don't know that I would have done that.
It's a Teferi Time Raveler.
That Teferi will seal the deal.
Well, I think the deal was already sealed. This Teferi is like putting wax on it and like pressing his ring into it.
Okay. This Teferi is the signet.
Yeah, this Teferi is the...
Get in there. Probably get your Teferi.
Now let me get your Dread Horde Invasion. 1, 2, 3.
What?
Yeah, if you're going to do that... Oh, he took his Teferi, sure. Yeah, how many Teferis do you want to play this game? I hear they're all good.
Here's a baby Teferi.
I think that's Teferi number 4 or 5. This is the, like...
We'll plus it.
Uh-oh, here we go. J-Lam, 334, coming in hot. Dripping. J-Lam, you dripping?
Search for Iskanta. Don't even bother.
Jump lump. Chill.
Yeah, it's a little dozy.
It's okay. We had some exciting cards played. Dread Horde Invasion.
You got a big stack of lands there.
You get to play the guess how many lands Erik Henderson has in play game. This just in, nobody will ever know.
Nobody will ever know. I think we kept a Liliana.
Yeah, sure. Let's cast them. More followers. Here we go.
Patman 93. Anyone casting Bolas tonight? I'm not sure. Most of our matches have kind of gone straight to time, so we'll see. There we go.